Thanks for joining me. I'm Aaron Rutten, and in this video I'll demonstrate the new palette knives brush pack I created for Rebelle. These brushes can be downloaded from my website at aaronrutten.com. These brushes are compatible with Rebelle 8 and later, and they're best used with the Wacom Art Pen. This is the Wacom Art Pen 2, but they're also compatible with the Wacom Art Pen 1. As you can see, the Wacom Art Pen allows you to rotate the barrel of the pen to rotate the dab. So I can paint lines that are thin or wide, and I can get all sorts of directional effects simply by rotating my pen. If you're using a pen that does not support rotation, these brushes will still work. You'll just need to tilt the pen in the direction that you want the brush to point. And of course, if your pen doesn't have tilt or you're using a mouse, then you're not going to get as much expressiveness out of these brushes, but you can still get the textures and mixing effects. The first brush that we'll try out is called Broken Hard, and there's a series of broken brushes. No, these brushes are not broken, meaning that they don't work. By broken, I mean you get this paint break effect. If you've ever watched Bill Alexander or Bob Ross, they use their palette knives to create mountain effects. And so where you get these breaks in the paint, this is what I'm referring to when I say broken. These breaks can occur in a couple of different ways. One is on the grain of the canvas. Right now I have a very heavy canvas texture, so pressing lightly is going to get me a lot of that texture. If I press with medium pressure, I'm going to get some other textures here, and it might be easier to see these better if we just switch our paper to white simple. Now we're not going to get that canvas effect, and we can see the break in the paint. So if I were painting a mountain, I can rotate my pen to where it's upright like this, and then I can taper off my pressure to get these nice broken paint effects. But we'll come back to mountain painting because these brushes are really great for that. I'll just do a stroke of Broken Hard here, for example, and I'll go over it with a white color so we can see how the color layers and blends. Let's compare that to Broken Soft. As you can see, Broken Soft is just softer overall, whereas Broken Hard is a lot sharper. So Broken Soft would be better for softer effects like distant mountains, whereas closer mountains you might want to be a bit sharper, so you'd use Broken Hard. Let's try Broken Thick. It's going to be hard to see how thick this brush is unless we use the right color, so I'll just add some gray here. And if I zoom in, you can see it has some paint thickness to it. It also has a slight bit of color variability, but this is very subtle. You may want to edit the color variability for the brushes that use it. In that case, you'll go to the brush creator, go to paint, and then under color noise is where you can change these properties. If you want to temporarily disable it, you can do that with this button here. So now if I wanted a completely neutral gray, then I can get that. And as you can see, if I layer up the colors, this brush is even sharper. Now let's try Broken Grainy. It has similar behavior as the previous brushes, but now you're going to get a lot more of this paper grain. And of course, to see that, you'll need to select a paper that actually has texture. So stylistically, you have a lot of choices here. I can have a grainy effect like this, or I can have something that's more crisp, or something softer, or something thicker. And then of course, you can combine these effects. I can add thick on top of this brush, or I can put soft on top of this one, and you can mix them all together. The next brush we'll look at is Flat Knife. Like the other brushes, you can rotate the dab. This brush is very useful for painting water effects, like ripples and waves. I'm going to hide this paper texture so we can focus more on the strokes. Lighter pressure will give you a thinner, more transparent mark, and heavier pressure will give you a more opaque stroke. This brush smudges as you paint with it, so I can lay down some ripples here, and then add white into it, and the colors will mix together naturally. But there are lots of other ways to use this brush. I could use it for painting tree trunks that are distant, or if I were painting a fence, you could use it for grass if you like, or even leaves if you do the right kinds of strokes. It's a very versatile brush. Could make a plant like this. But the expressiveness of these rotating brushes is really just amazing. It's a very underrated feature. If you think about how you'd have to change your brush around and reshape it, and even tilt your arm in awkward angles to rotate your brush like this, you can really see how rotating the pen makes it so much better. Let's give Flow Thick a try. I'll paint a nice dynamic stroke here, and you can see the paint has this flow to it. It smudges and gets pulled along with your palette knife. It feels very much like real gloopy paint. I'll mix some other colors into that, and you can see they blend together in a natural, oily way. Let's add some white into it, maybe some black. And again, lighter pressure gives you a different effect than you'd get if you used heavy pressure, and you can taper it off. Even these short strokes look really nice for adding little details. It has a very natural feel to it. If we compare that to Flow Thin, you can see they both have that smudginess of the paint, but Flow Thin is going to have some thinner, streakier features. But it works basically the same way. I'll add some other colors into that. You can get really creative with these brushes and do waterfalls, or maybe you're painting grassy effects or bushes, or maybe you're just trying to put in some land features that are directional. Let's move on to look at Glow Knife. For this, we'll want a background color that's fairly dark, and the color we choose we want to be fairly dark as well. As its name implies, this brush will glow, but it's not until you build up the strokes on top of one another. Lighter pressure will give you a thinner, more transparent stroke, whereas heavier pressure will give you a more opaque stroke. And same goes for when you layer it. So you want to kind of work back and forth between sharp and soft. But again, this is a good one for doing water effects. You come back to some of these spots and do some highlights on them. And then of course you can make your color brighter, but when you do that, it's going to start to build up to white more quickly. You can also play with the opacity of these brushes, or the loading, depending on the brush, if you want it to build up a little bit more slowly. So even though I'm using this bright color here, it's not building up to white as fast. The paint is a little smudgy and it has a nice feel to it. It works really well just to go in here and quickly paint details like this without having to think about them too much. You can just kind of let them happen. Let's see what Heavy Texture Knife can do. As I mentioned earlier, these brushes are really great for painting mountains and other rocky effects. And as you can see, this has a lot of color variability in it, and it's also very streaky, so I can get all sorts of directional features here. I can go flat on the ground like this. I can build up a cliff face like this. Give it a top like that. And then of course I can add other colors over that and blend them in. Or I could use some of the other brushes if I want maybe a different texture to put over the top of it. As with the other brushes, lighter pressure is going to give you a thinner texture. Heavier pressure will give you a thicker texture. You can see there's a lot of impasto that builds up and smudges around, whereas if I use lighter pressure, it's more like a thin, oily glaze. And I can do that thin, oily glaze on top of this if I want to thin it down a bit, or vice versa. I can put that heavy texture over the thin texture. I said we'd come back to mountains, so I'm going to keep my promise. And let's look at the mountain knife. This is where I like to start when I'm painting mountains, because it gives me this nice kind of flat, opaque color if I use heavy pressure. And if I use light pressure, then I can get this thinner color that also has some texture to it. So this allows me just to kind of use my imagination, put in these different shapes, and just kind of build it up like this. And then I will lock the transparency of that layer, select my lighter color, and then use one of my other brushes to put some texture on it. We'll do that kind of as like a base layer here. And then on top of that, we'll do something sharper. Maybe we'll use this heavy texture here, and then we can add some snow. Or if we want a different look, we can select some different colors and start out in a different order. Maybe we put this down first to add some impasto to it. And then we go over it with Broken Soft. And then maybe we do Flow Thin on top of that. And that gives us a different look. So you can really have a lot of fun combining these brushes together. I'll disable Lock Transparency so I can clear that. The Rocky Knife is one of my favorite brushes in this pack because it makes it really easy to create really intricate rocky effects. If I paint with this brush, you can see it has some directional features. If I keep my brush pointed a certain way, then the rock's going to flow this way. If I want the rock to flow this way, I can do that, and I can have these opposing directions if I wanted to. I could have the rock flow a certain way. Light pressure is going to give me more of this broken paint. Heavy pressure is going to make it more thick. So I'll show you how I would paint with this brush. The first way is if you just want to make little features in the ground that look like rocks that are buried. Or maybe you can build them up more like this. If I make my brush smaller, then I can of course make those rocks smaller as well. But it helps to just make random shapes that don't all look the same. You can even just kind of dab with it like this. And as you can see, I get all these different colors and features without having to do a whole lot. If I want them to flow a certain way, I can do that. If I want them to look tall and spiky like gravel, I can shape them however I want. I'll select a brownish color and we'll look at another way to do this. Maybe this is going to be a big feature like you'd see in the deserts or something. I can kind of curve it out like this by rotating my features. And I can create a flow. Maybe we'll make this a plateau. Actually, it looks like a pretty good tree stump. But maybe if we add some other colors on top of it. Nope, it still looks like a tree stump. Well, let's just pretend that that's what we were going for here. In addition to rocky effects, you can also paint tree stumps. Select a darkish color here. Put in some of that. It takes a really light touch to get these effects. You can also switch these to just strictly a blender. And you can blend them and smudge them together like so. I'll give you one more demonstration, just building up some various rocky forms, because I want you to really be able to appreciate what you can do with this brush. The amount of detail you can create is just really nice. And again, you go over it with other colors, if it needs a little bit more. If you don't like how messy the edges are, you could always use a different knife. Let's say the mountain knife, to paint something with a sharper edge. Then you could lock the transparency of it, and you can go over it with the rocky knife to get that same texture with just a sharper edge. Or if you wanted a really sharp edge, you could use the flat knife. You can get some really smooth rocks this way. Make some pretty nice looking rocks. Sediment Knife is kind of in the same vein as rocky knife. It lets you build up these forms. But these are going to be even more directional in nature. So if I paint with it kind of flat, you can see it has this ribbed pattern here. So I can take advantage of that if I want to, and I can build up all sorts of different forms. I'll have this one kind of like this. Make it flatter on the bottom. Maybe create like a sense of perspective here. Have another one over here. And as you can see, I can really shape these rocks and make them look organic and just random. If you use lighter pressure, you can kind of fade this out into like a smudgy paint if you like. And you can use that to then do shading on top of your rocks. I'm just being kind of quick and loose about all these demonstrations here too. You can take your time and use them more precisely. The smooth knife is next. As its name implies, this brush is really smooth. It's very oily. And if you add a color where you can see, it has a slight bit of impasto to it. So this is kind of a smooth, oily paint. As you can see, it kind of smudges together. So you could use it for soft clouds in the sky. You could use it for highlights on the water. Really anything you like where you want a nice flat brush that's a bit more oily and soft. And of course, if you go to the visual settings, you can crank up the impasto depth if you want that to be sharper. Let's have a look at what Streaky Knife can do. If I paint with this brush, you can see that along the stroke, it has these streaks. I guess that's why I call it Streaky Knife. And if you use light pressure, you'll get kind of a thinner, lighter texture like this. If you use heavier pressure, it'll be really thick and gloopy. Then of course you can mix colors into it, and it's very oily and nice. So again, this is yet another style that you can get if you're doing mountains. You want them to look a little streaky like this. Or if you're doing a tree trunk and you want it to have kind of a texture to it like that. Streaky Texture is next. If I paint with this brush, you can see it also has a streakiness to it, but it's much more thick and textured. And there's a lot of color variability. So it's a really beautiful looking brush in terms of color quality. And of course I can mix colors together, and they're very oily, but I still have a lot of texture. If I use lighter pressure, I can kind of blend with this and smudge the colors together a bit, or I can completely cover them with heavier pressure. The final brush in this set is Thick Marbled. Choose a brownish color, As you can see, this gives you a nice marbled paint effect where maybe I loosely mix together two colors with a palette knife so that I can get this variability. If I use it for like snow on a mountain, it's really nice. Just gives you a bit of extra detail there. And again, you can go into the brush creator and look under paint, and you have full control over that color noise if you wanted it to be stronger or even weaker. If you set it too low, you won't be able to see it, so you need to have a minimum amount. This would also work really well for trees or bushes. So as you can see, this is an extremely versatile and very natural feeling brush pack. It's definitely a must-have for Rebelle, especially if you have a Wacom art pen. You can download these brushes from my website at aaronrutten.com. I'll put a link to that in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.